So in the wake of a breakup with a narcissist, it's not uncommon at all for the person on the receiving end of the narcissism to have low self-esteem, feelings of worthlessness, hopelessness, that kind of thing. So how, after the relationship is ended, how do you go about rebuilding your own self-esteem? That's what we're talking about today in this video. Hi, I'm Jeff Campbell from DivorcedParentsClub.com, and I'm glad you're here with me. So the first step, of course, is to go through the healing stages of healing yourself in the wake of the breakup with the narcissist. And this applies whether you broke up with them or whether you got dumped. Either way, you need to heal yourself from their abuse. And there are several key steps that you can take right now to get that healing process started. So of course, the first one is to go completely no contact. A lot of the time we do that with the hopes of getting an ex back. And I do actually have a video about going no contact with a narcissist to get them to come back to you. But in this case, we don't want them back. And we know we don't want them back. So I want you to go completely no contact. I want you to actually block them on your phone, on email, social media, etc. I want you to pretend they don't exist, and I want you to eliminate any way of them being able to reach out to you, because chances are they will, because the narcissist can't stand being ignored. Now, a lot of the time, a narcissist will badmouth us in the wake of a breakup. I know when I got dumped by my now ex-wife 2 years ago, she began saying all kinds of things to family and mutual friends and things like that, and is still doing that to this day. And either outright lies or gross exaggerations, that sort of thing. And that is not uncommon with a narcissist. And I want you to resist the urge to fight back and to retort and to go tit for tat. That never actually works with a narcissist. Believe me, I know. And it also just kind of escalates things. They want to win at all costs. And the more you give them the fight, the more they're going to fight back. And they actually crave that drama and that chaos. So the worst possible thing you can do to them is to ignore them, or just to give short one-word answers if you do have to communicate with them. Maybe you have kids together like I do with my ex, and we have to communicate at least a little bit. So don't give in to the fight. Fight the urge to fight back and retort and defend yourself, even when you feel completely justified, and you probably do. And you probably are. A lot of the time, we also have mutual friends with the narcissist abuser. And a lot of the times, those people stay friends with both of you in the wake of the breakup. A lot of those people could be very fine people, but some of them are probably going to be rabble rousers, and they're going to be giving information about you to them, telling you stuff about the narcissist, even if you've asked them not to. So you do have to draw clear boundaries with these people. And if they continually violate those boundaries, don't be afraid to cut them out of your life. You don't need that drama. You don't need that chaos, and you don't need unhealthy people making the situation worse. Routine is a great thing to have in the wake of a breakup with a narcissist. Doing the same things on the same schedule week after week. Our mind gets comfort from that familiar schedule. So as much as possible, try and work a normal schedule. Try and go to the gym or exercise on the same days and same times every week. Hang out with friends on a similar schedule. Engage in your hobbies on a similar schedule, and keep to that schedule as much as life will allow you to. And that routine will bring you comfort. Then I want you to have an outlet to express your feelings. You've got a lot going on in here. You're feeling a lot, and it's not healthy just to keep it bottled up inside. So you might be seeing a therapist, and that's a great thing to do. But there are lots of other channels where you can get your feelings out and channel that aggression in a positive, healthy manner. That could be going to the gym or other forms of workout. It could be something like martial arts, which I do. It could be yoga, which I love. It could be meditation, though. There's all kinds of different ways for you to channel aggression in a healthy way. So find one or more that resonate with who you are and do that consistently. In the wake of a breakup with a narcissist, it's not uncommon for us to feel lost. And maybe we wrapped all of our eggs up in their basket, and now we're left wondering, well, who am I? What do I like to do? And we've kind of lost sight of what was important to us as a person because we were so focused on pleasing them. So that is not uncommon at all. So I want you to get back to doing the things that brought you joy. Rediscover yourself or create new things that bring you joy, but find out what those things are and do them on a regular basis. Then I want you to practice self-care. That's just taking care of yourself mentally, physically, dietarily, etc. A lot of the time when we're stressed or angry or sad or hurt, we tend to turn to things like drugs and alcohol. And I understand the urge to do those things, but it's a terrible way to go if you're just using it as a coping mechanism. I tend to find that anytime I do those things, it amplifies whatever mindset I'm in. So if I'm in a negative mindset, then it's going to make those things worse. So I don't really do a lot of drugs, but I do have the occasional alcoholic beverage, but I only do that when I'm in a good mood, because then it's going to amplify that good mood as opposed to amplifying a bad mood. Practice self-forgiveness too. It's not uncommon in the wake of a breakup with a narcissist for you to feel bad. You feel like you should have seen it coming. You should have left sooner. You should have never put up with their abuse. All of those kinds of things make you doubt yourself and make you beat yourself up. I'm so stupid. I'm yada, yada, yada. Don't do that. They manipulated you and did it really well because that's what they do. And they search for people who have cracks in their armor that they can take advantage of. They are a predator and you were the prey in this particular situation. Don't beat yourself up for that. What triggers you when you are recovering from narcissistic abuse? You're likely going to have PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, not unlike soldiers who come back from the battlefield. Your brain's going to be on high alert, looking for danger around every corner. And little things can trigger that, just like a firecracker might trigger a soldier on the 4th of July, and they panic because it reminds them of bombs or gunshots that they heard on the battlefield. And it's just that sound is forever going to trigger that reaction in them, at least to some degree. Traumatic events trigger a fight or flight sensation in us. It just does. And guess what? If you were the victim of a narcissist in a severe way, you are going through that and you're having that fight or flight response. So there's all kinds of things that can trigger that. Maybe going to a restaurant that you used to go to with the narcissist, a familiar song, maybe even your song with that narcissist. That could trigger you. Certain foods, certain smells, vacation spots, all of those kinds of things can be very triggering in the same way fireworks might trigger a soldier. Real quick, if you like this video, hit that like button for me. It sends a great signal to YouTube. They show my videos to more people just like you, helps me grow my channel, and it's a great way to say thank you to me for taking the time to make these videos. So what are the signs that you're actually healing from the narcissistic abuse? Because if you are, that's a great thing. The first is that you feel lighter. I just mean like overall, your mood is elevated. You're happier and you're lighter, literally and figuratively. You're in a good mood. Things bring you joy that used to make you feel listless or blasé. You smile more often, and often for no reason at all. Maybe you're walking down the street and you see a friendly dog, or maybe it's a beautiful day and the sun's out and you're seeing all kinds of wildlife and things, and you're just smiling. You're happy. It's bringing you joy. Little things are bringing you joy. You feel a sense of relief, like this weight has been lifted off of your shoulders, because guess what? It has. And then it's not uncommon in the wake of a narcissist and their abuse for you to actually have physical manifestations of the PTSD that they're causing you. That could be joint pain. It could be stomach pain. Could be headaches, autoimmune things. Could be weight gain. Maybe you're stress eating in the wake of the breakup. All of those things can happen as a result of a breakup with a narcissist. But when you begin to see those things alleviate and go away, that's a great sign that you're well on your way to being completely healed in the wake of their abuse. I also want to mention that I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychotherapist. I'm not qualified to diagnose somebody with narcissistic personality disorder, NPD for short. But when I make these videos, I do actually consult a lot of scientific and medical studies and journals, and I'm going to link to those down below in the description in case you want to check out any of the claims that I'm making, because they are very much rooted in science and medicine. So let's say that you are on the healing process, having gone through a breakup with a narcissist. How do you really get your life back on track now? So the first is to go no contact with the narcissist. I know that sounds like a no-brainer, But a lot of the time they're desperate to reel you back in. The narcissist does not like being ignored. They hate it. Now, they may have moved on to somebody new, in which case maybe you're off the hook, at least for a little bit. But they really don't like being ignored, and they like to be able to get exactly what they want. So chances are they are trying to reach out to you. They are trying to lure you back in. Maybe they're love bombing you and trying to show you all the great things that they showed you at the outset of your relationship. And you're confused. You're wondering, well, maybe I made a mistake if you dumped them. Maybe it would be better this time around. Maybe it would be different this time around. Guess what? It's not going to be. It's really not. So go completely no contact unless you have kids or something like that, in which case you obviously have to have the lines of communication open at least a little bit. But if you don't have that, that's good for you. Block them on your phone, block them on social media, block them on email, avoid them like the plague. And as I mentioned earlier, if you've got mutual friends that can't respect those boundaries, cut those people out of your life. Then I want you to educate yourself. And you're doing that right now if you're looking up these topics on YouTube. But dive in as deep as you can to really get clarity around what you went through, where you're at now, and how to get where you want to be. You're always going to ruminate, at least in the early stages of the recovery from narcissistic abuse. But I want you to set time limits. In other words, if you're going to be in a funk about the breakup and you're thinking about this person, you're questioning whether you did the right thing, and you're thinking about the good times or you're thinking about the bad times, maybe, whatever it is that you're doing, I want you to set a timer on that, literally a kitchen timer or something like that, where, okay, I'm going to do this for 15 minutes and then I'm going to get the hell on with my life doing something positive. Because guess what? There is nothing positive that's going to come from ruminating about that. There is value in learning from your mistakes and recognizing why you did what you did. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about, the going through the process of feeling the feelings about them and questioning yourself, second guessing yourself, that kind of thing. Literally set a kitchen timer. 15 minutes max, and then go do something completely different. Then I want you to dig in deep on the roots of this. Why were you attracted to them in the first place? Do you have a pattern of being attracted to narcissists? And if you do, I want to talk to you about a little something called repetition compulsion, which is basically where we are drawn to familiar behavior patterns, even if we know they're destructive. And the best analogy I can use is the child of a smoker who died of lung cancer who smokes themselves. And they know it's dangerous. They saw that firsthand, but they can't help but do it because it is so familiar to them from their childhood. They saw their mom or their dad do it continuously. So it is a familiar behavior pattern, even if they know it's wrong. And so they're drawn to it like a moth to the flame. So if your parents, one or both, were narcissists, chances are you've seen yourself drawn to narcissists repeatedly over the course of your adult lifetime. And you're probably going to continue to do that until you can get to the root of that childhood issue, ideally with a qualified therapist, and really dig into the meat and the bones of why that is, how that happened, what happened that caused those things in your parents, and what you need to do differently to be attracted to other kinds of people. We all have a type, quote unquote, a type of person that we tend to gravitate towards. Could be physical features, how they make us feel emotionally. There's any number of things that fall into our quote unquote type. And it could be that your type is a narcissist. So you've got to figure out how to break that pattern if you ever have any hopes of being in a healthy relationship. And a qualified therapist is going to be the best way to do that. Now, let's say though, that you did break up with this person. Let's also assume that they're not a full-blown narcissist with NPD. They just have some narcissistic tendencies and traits, in which case maybe you're wondering, I think it is possible to make a relationship work with this person if I go to therapy and they go to therapy, maybe even we go to therapy together. Maybe it is possible. If that's what you're wondering, if that's what you're thinking, I do actually have a video about how to get your narcissistic ex back. So if you want to watch that, check that out right up here on my channel. But for now, I'll see you in the next video.